Mark Collins felt his heart drop as he stared at his phone. The message he had just sent glowed back at him. Like a terrible mistake. I miss you so much, it hurts. Sometimes he had meant to send it to his late wife's old number something he still did on difficult nights to ease the loneliness. But instead, he had sent it to his boss, Catherine Reynolds. His stomach twisted. No, 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 he murmured, quickly typing an explanation. Before he could hit send, the typing bubbles appeared. She was already responding. Panicking, Mark tossed the phone aside and buried his face in his hands. At 36, he had been a widower for 2 years. His wife, Emma, had passed away suddenly from an aneurysm, leaving him alone to raise their 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Most days, he held things together. Tonight, he hadn't. The school talent show had been full of mothers helping their daughters. Lily tried to be brave, but Mark had held her as she cried herself to sleep. The house felt too quiet, too empty, too full of memories. And in that vulnerable moment, he reached for his phone, trying to feel close to Emma in the only way he still could. The phone chimed. Then again, when Mark finally forced himself to look, the messages from Catherine were simple. Mark, are you okay? This doesn't sound like you. Can we talk? He apologized quickly, explaining the message was meant for his late wife. Catherine's reply came almost instantly. You don't need to apologize. Get some rest. Relief washed over him. She was professional. By Monday, this would be forgotten. He was wrong. The next morning, at 10:30 a.m., Mark opened his front door to find Catherine standing on his porch. Not in her usual business attire, she wore jeans, a sweater, and had her hair down. She held 2 coffees and a cup of hot chocolate. Catherine, what are you doing here? Before he could understand what was happening, Lily peeked from behind him. Are you Daddy's boss? The one who makes him work late? Catherine knelt down with surprising gentleness. I am. And I'm sorry about the late nights. Maybe I can help with your project to make up for it. Lily brightened instantly. We're building the solar system. Daddy messes up Saturn's rings, well, Catherine said with a small smile. Saturn's rings happen to be my specialty. Mark stood there stunned as she followed Lily inside. For the next 2 hours, Catherine sat at the table with Lily, painting planets, teaching her facts about space, laughing when they both accidentally spilled glitter across the floor. Mark watched in quiet amazement. The woman who ran her company with iron-sharp confidence had a soft, warm side he'd never seen. When they stopped for lunch, Lily chatted openly about missing her mom. Catherine listened carefully before speaking. My mom died when I was your age, she said gently. I never forgot her. And you won't forget your mom either. Mark felt something shift in his understanding of her. There was so much he didn't know after lunch. Lily invited Catherine to the park, something Mark expected her to decline. Instead, she said, I'd love to. The afternoon was unexpectedly joyful. Catherine pushed Lily on the swings, raced her down the slide, and helped her build the most impressive sandcastle Mark had ever seen. Mark found himself smiling more than he had in months. As the sun began to set, Lily hugged Catherine tightly. Will you come tomorrow too? You could be family. Mark felt his face flush, but Catherine only smiled softly. Thank you, sweetheart. I had a wonderful day. When Lily ran inside, Mark turned to Catherine. You didn't have to do any of this. I know, she said. Then quietly, but everyone needs someone sometimes. Even me. Before she left, she handed him a card with her personal number written on the back, in case you want to text the right person next time. That night, Mark sent her a message. Thank you for today. Lily hasn't stopped talking about you. Her reply came quickly. I haven't been that happy in a long time either. Over the next few weeks, Catherine slowly became part of their lives. She joined them for Sunday dinners, helped with homework, introduced them to her rescue dog, and became someone Lily looked up to at work. Nothing was said, but their quiet smiles said enough. 3 months later, Mark invited Catherine to dinner, just the two of them. They talked openly about grief, fear, hope. Catherine admitted she had closed herself off after losing her husband years earlier. "I built walls," she said. "But your message. Something told me I had to show up." "I'm glad you did," Mark said softly. Their first kiss happened on his porch, under the warm glow of the porch light. It felt gentle, real, like coming home. 6 months later, Catherine moved in. Lily loved having her around. Even Mark's mother-in-law welcomed her warmly, saying through tears, "Emma would want you both to be happy." On the anniversary of the misdirected text, Mark took Catherine back to the park where it all began. There, as the sun lowered beyond the playground, he knelt on one knee. "You walked into our lives when we needed you most," he said. "You helped heal us. Catherine, will you marry me?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Lily texted seconds later. Did she say yes? They replied together. She said yes. "We're coming home." A year later, Catherine walked down the aisle with Lily as her flower girl. Their family, inspected, imperfect, beautiful, stood together at the altar. During her vows, Catherine said, "Some people search their whole lives for their person. I found mine because of a text message that wasn't even meant for me." Mark squeezed her hands and whispered, "It was meant for exactly the right person, because life rarely goes according to plan. We lose people. We make mistakes. But sometimes those mistakes lead us exactly where we're meant to be."